on confidence building.
Yeah, sorry, I just forgot to mention that we're doing a recording, if it's okay with you, and we do not share it publicly, but only with the group of women that participate in the workshop. And also we do some short introduction, also, if that's okay. We do it in right in English, and then in Russian and in Uzbek, and then over to you. So thank you everyone for joining us today. This is one of our workshop that our NGO Tech for Impact does with Oracle experts, and thank you for being with us today. Today we have our guest speaker, Zulaikha Khan. I hope I have not mispronounced your name.
That's correct.
Representative of Generation Oracle program, and we're impressed. Like I've been impressed with your short bio of your experience of working in many countries and many companies. So thank you for sharing your experience with us today.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here, Elena. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. I'll do the same, like short introduction in Russian, and then Barno will say in Uzbek, and then we can start. Всем добрый день, спасибо большое, что подключились. У нас, как всегда, семинар с экспертом Oracle. Сегодня тема уверенность в себе, очень интересная и важная тема, особенно для женщин-предпринимателей. Наш эксперт Зулайка Хан работает в разных странах мира, сейчас в Эмиратах, в компании Oracle. И семинар, как обычно, на английском, с запись, и с переводом на узбекский. Барно будет переводить. Барно, спасибо большое.
Assalomu alaykum hammaga. Bugungi darsimizda Tech for Impact notijorat tashkilotining Oracle bilan hamkorlikdagi o'z-o'zini bo'lgan ishonchni shakllantirish mavzusi bo'yicha xalqaro ekspertimiz Oracle kompaniyasini Generation Oracle kompaniyasining savdo vakili bilan seminarimiz bo'lib o'tadi. Bu seminarda Zulaykha Khan xonim o'zini ko'p yillik tajribalari va juda ko'p davlatlarda bo'lgan ekanlar, hayotdagi o'sha bo'lgan tajribalari bilan biz bilan ulashishadi. Rahmat hammaga.
Zulaykha, over to you. Thank you.
Sure. No worries. So hello, everyone. Welcome to today's workshop on confidence building. Thank you for taking the time out today and attending this workshop. I hope everyone who's attending this session today will have something useful to take away with them, and maybe it will help them in their personal or professional lives. As you all know, the topic we are going to cover today is confidence building. And I'd like this workshop to be interactive. So if you have any questions or if you want to share your thoughts or experiences, feel free to share it with me on the chat or unmute yourself, and let's get started.
Assalomu alaykum hammaga. Sizlar bilan bugun ishonchni shakllantirish bo'yicha gaplashib o'tamiz. Bu mavzuyimiz juda ham interaktiv tarzda bo'lib o'tishi kerak. Ya'ni birorta savolinglar bo'lib qolsa, bemalol so'rashinglar mumkin seminar davomida. Endi boshlaymiz darsimizni.
Okay. So my name is Zulaikha Khan. I'm an Indian. I was born and raised in Qatar in the Middle East. I've had the opportunity to travel a little bit for a couple of years whilst I was in the aviation industry prior to joining the IT industry. I now live in Dubai in UAE, and I work for Oracle.
Ismim Zulaykha Khan. Hindistonlik bo'lishimga qaramasdan Qatarda tug'ilib o'sganman va u yerda katta bo'lganman. Shuningdek, London va Italiyada ko'p vaqtimni o'tkazganman. Bundan tashqari 55 ta davlatlarda sayohat qilishga muvaffaq bo'lganman va 120 ta shaharda ishlab, u yerda 160 dan ziyod millatlar bilan birga muloqotda bo'lishga erishganman. Bir necha yildan beri Dubay shahrida Oracle'ni bo'limida faoliyat olib boryapman.
Right. So let me quickly tell you of the agenda for our workshop today. We will cover these three topics: self-awareness, self-confidence, body language. So I personally find these topics very interesting. So let's get started.
Bugun sizlar bilan 3 ta mavzu haqida gaplashib o'tamiz. Ya'ni o'z-o'zini anglash, birinchisi, ikkinchisi ishonchni hosil qilish va uchinchisi tana tilini o'rganish.
All right. So the first topic we're going to speak about is self-awareness. What is self-awareness? Would anyone like to explain or volunteer in simple words what they understand when they hear self-awareness for the first time?
O'z-o'ziga bo'lgan ishonch deganimizda sizlar nimani tushunasizlar? Kimdir aytishi mumkinmi? Sizlar uchun bu so'z nimani anglatadi? Kim o'z fikrini ulashmoqchi?
Hello, my name is Sandra Begin, and for me, self-awareness, it is like self-confidence and understanding what you want in this life and what you are as a person, something like this.
Nodira Begim aytiladiki, self awareness men uchun o'ziga bo'lgan ishonch, nimani xohlashing, shuni bilishdan iborat.
Right. I think we have Tina who wants to say something.
Да, я тоже хотела сказать почти то же самое, что и предыдущая выступающая девушка. Уверенность в себе дает понимание, кто ты и куда ты двигаешься, какую цель ты хочешь достигнуть.
She says that she shares the idea of the previous girl that self-awareness for her is the same as self-confidence and guides you where you are going in life, right. Showing your goal in life and destination.
Right. So in simple terms, as you can all see the definition, it's basically the ability to focus on yourself and how your actions, thoughts, or emotions do or do not align with your internal standards. If you're highly self-aware, you can objectively evaluate yourself, manage your emotions, align your behavior with your values, and understand correctly how others perceive you, right? Those who are highly self-aware can interpret their actions, feelings, and thoughts objectively. It's a very rare skill, as many of us spiral into emotional driven interpretations of our circumstances. So developing self-awareness in this professional world is very important because it allows leaders to assess their growth and effectiveness and change course when necessary.
O'z-o'zini anglash deganda biz o'zimizni ichki harakatlarimiz, xayollarimiz, his-tuyg'ularimizni bizni ichki nimalarimiz bilan, standartlarimiz bilan, ya'ni qandaydir bosqichdagi bizni o'zimizni tushunishdagi xayollarimiz bilan mosmi yo'qmi, shuni bildirar ekan. Bu karyera jihatdan ham, bizni masalan kasbiy mahoratimizni oshirishda ham muhim nimaga ega ekan, ahamiyatga ega ekan. Chunki masalan yetakchilar o'zini nima qilayotganini, to'g'ri qilayotganmi, noto'g'rimi, kerakli paytda o'ziniga baho berish orqali, ya'ni obyektiv, xolisona baho berish orqali o'zini to'g'ri yo'nalishga yo'naltirishi mumkin. Bu esa muvaffaqiyatli karyeraga ega bo'lishda juda ham ahamiyatga ega ekan. There is an answer in the chat also. Yeah.
So self-awareness is when you are aware of your weaknesses and strength. Absolutely, Shakista. I hope I pronounced that right. You exactly know how you feel, how you're reacting, what is your body language, what are your thoughts, what are your emotional. You're in sync with yourself internally. That's what it means in simple terms. So, okay, so there are two distinct kinds of self-awareness, public and private, right? So let's start with private self-awareness. When you have private self-awareness, you're able to notice and reflect on your internal state. Those who have private self-awareness are introspective, approaching their feelings and reactions with curiosity. So for example, you may notice yourself tensing up as you're preparing for an important meeting, noticing the physical sensations and correctly attributing them to your anxiety about the meeting would be an example of private self-awareness. While there are benefits to this type of awareness, there's also the danger of tipping into self-consciousness. So those who are especially high in this trait may spend too much time worrying about what others might be thinking of them.
O'z-o'zini anglashni ikki xil turi bor ekan, ya'ni shaxsiy o'z-o'zini anglash va jamoat oldidagi o'z-o'zini anglash ekan. Ya'ni shaxsiy o'z-o'zini anglashda odamlar o'ziga to'g'ri baho bera olishi muhim ekan. Masalan, yig'ilishga ketayotganda u hayajonlanadi va o'zini hayajonlanishini shunaqa o'zini odati borligini tushungan holda o'z-o'ziga nisbatan baho berib, uni kamaytirishga, ushbu hayajonni kamaytirishga harakat qiladi. Masalan, jamoat oldidagi o'z-o'zini anglash deganda ba'zida buni bitta tomoni ham bor ekan. Masalan, ko'chada ketayotganda odamlar menga qanday qarashyapti, men haqimda qanday o'ylashyapti degan kabi xayollarni borligi.
Right. And the other one is public self-awareness. So that is you're being aware of how we can appear to others. Because of our consciousness, We are almost likely to adhere to social norms and behave in ways that are socially acceptable. For example, when you walk into a business meeting, you're delivering your pitch, and you might want to pay attention to your body language, your facial expressions, your gestures, and so on. We will cover these topics in the coming slides.
Jamoat oldidagi o'z-o'zini anglashni aytganda, masalan, yig'ilishlarda biz odamlarga qanday o'zimizni ko'rsatamiz, ya'ni boshqa odamlar biz haqimizda qanday o'ylayotganimizni tushunib turishimiz, masalan, qo'llarimizni harakati bilan yoki qanday qilib gapirish, o'zimizni nutqimiz, buni keyingi bo'limlarda ham bir qator ko'rib o'tamiz. Shular orqali biz boshqalarga qanday ko'rinyapmiz, ular bizni qanday qabul qilishyapti, shu haqidagi anglash ekan.
So when we look inward, we can clarify our values, thoughts, feelings, behaviors, strengths, and weaknesses. We're able to recognize the effect that we have on other people. People with self-awareness are happier and have better relationships, be it in your personal life or in business relationships. They also experience a sense of personal and social control, as well as higher job satisfaction. And on the other hand, when you look outward, we understand how people view us. So people who are aware of how people see them are more likely to be empathetic to people with different perspectives, especially leaders. Leaders whose self-perception matches other perceptions are more likely to empower, include, and recognize others.
Endi nimaga o'z-o'zini anglash muhim degan savolga quyidagicha javob beramiz. Ya'ni o'z-o'zini shaxsiy o'z-o'zini anglashda anglay olgan inson quyidagi qimmatlilarga ega bo'lar ekan. Ya'ni uni qandaydir qadriyatlari, fikrlari, his-tuyg'ulari, o'z-o'zini tutishi, kuchsiz va kuchli tomonlarini bila oladi va ularni kerakli yo'naltirishga yo'naltira oladi, foydalana oladi. Jamoat oldidagi o'z-o'zini anglashda esa biz odamlarni qanday bizga qarashi, bizni qanday qilib qabul qilishlarini tushuna olamiz va buni tushungan holda biz turli xil kelib chiqish, hayot tarzi, ya'ni qadriyatlarga, boshqa davlatlarda bo'lgan odamlarni tushunchasiga mos holda nima qilishimiz mumkin, munosabat bildirishimiz mumkin va o'zimizni yetakchi sifatida tutishimiz mumkin.
I think we have a message from someone on the chat.
Yeah, she writes that she can't hear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there is
So I'll
something
move to the next slide.
with the sound settings, because we can hear like everyone, and that's fine.
Yeah, okay. If it's fine, okay.
Okay. So now let's look into some benefits of self-awareness. So it gives you the power to influence outcomes, basically. It also helps us to become better decision makers. It gives us more self-confidence. So as a result, we communicate with clarity and intention. It also allows us to understand things from multiple perspectives, especially in leadership positions, you know. It frees us from our assumptions and biases. It helps us build better relationships. It helps us reduce stress. Also, it makes us happier. It gives us greater ability to regulate our emotions.
Endi o'z-o'zini anglashni foydali tomonlari haqida gapiradigan bo'lsak, bu bizni natijalarimizga ta'sir qilar ekan va xulosalar chiqarganimizda yaxshiroq natijalarni olib kelar ekan. Bundan tashqari o'z-o'zimizga bo'lgan ishonchni orttirar ekan va shuningdek atrofimizdagi bo'layotgan narsalarni, voqeliklarni to'g'ri tushuna olishimizga va yetakchi sifatida to'g'ri baho bera olishimizga olib kelar ekan. Bundan tashqari turli xil taxminlarga va noto'g'ri fikrlardan xoli qilar ekan bizni. Yana atrofdagi insonlar bilan munosabatlarimizni yaxshilashga ham olib kelar ekan. Bundan tashqari yana o'z-o'zimizni his-tuyg'ularimizni jilovlay olishimizga va stress holatini kamaytirishimizga va baxtli bo'lishimizga, erishishimizga yordam berar ekan.
Right. Quickly, if you want to find out how self-aware you are, my colleague Eva will share a link with you on the chat. Basically, there you'll find 12 multiple choice questions that will help you or tell you the level of your self-awareness and what you can do to improve it.
Hozir chatda linkni nima qilishar ekan, jo'natishar ekan. Bu link orqali turli xil nimalar ichida tanlab o'zingizlarga kerakligini o'zingizlarni qanchalik anglay olishingizni baho berishingiz mumkin ekan va buni yuqori yuksaltirish uchun nimalar qilishingizni ko'rib olishingiz mumkin. Chatga tashlashdi linkni.
Thank you, Eva. All right. So there are many things you can start doing from today to become a more self-aware person. So for starters, you can start practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness helps you to be aware of what's going on in your mind, body, and environment. Meditation is one of the few practices that you can insert into your daily life, and practicing mindfulness is a wonderful tool for developing greater self-control. Do we have any yogis here, or does anyone practice meditation?
Masalan, o'z-o'zimizni anglashimiz uchun nimalar qilishimiz kerak? Buning uchun hushyorlikni oshirishimiz kerak ekan. Ya'ni aqlimizni, tanamizni va atrof muhitni tushunishimiz kerak ekan. Yoga bilan shug'ullanadiganlar bormi oramizda? Va meditatsiya bilan shug'ullanadigan.
Yoga и медитация.
Tina does the yoga and meditation.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Tina, for sharing that. Regular yoga practice creates mental clarity and calmness. It increases your body awareness, relieves chronic stress patterns, relaxes your mind, centers your attention, and also sharpens your concentration.
Yoga va meditatsiya mashg'ulotlari odamni o'z-o'zini tushunishga va qayerda nima bo'layotganini anglashga va o'zini olg'a g'oya sari, yo'nalish sari yo'naltirishga yordam berar ekan.
Great. We also have some people. Zulaikha Khan.
Yeah, she's also aware of
she
this.
Also
yeah,
practices yoga.
Yeah, she's also. But Venera, she doesn't. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So the next thing is keep a journal. So journaling is a very great way to pay attention to what's going on in your private and public self. It will also help you to recognize patterns that either serve you or not. You may use these questions such as, what did I do well today? What challenge did I face? What was I feeling? How did I respond to it? What strengths did I use to keep me focused on the best version of myself? Would I have responded differently? What is my intention for tomorrow? So, for starters, you can start asking yourself these questions when you start writing a journal. What was the most amazing part of your day? Or what made you happy? Or what made you sad? And then question those thoughts or those feelings. Why did you feel that way? And what made you feel that way? It basically helps you map your situation, your feelings, your surrounding all at once. It's like self-talk, basically. Do we have anyone who does journaling here in this call?
Yana o'z-o'zini anglashda bizga yana bir nechta usullar yordam berar ekan. Masalan, jurnal, ya'ni kundalik tutishimiz mumkin ekan. Bu yerda biz quyidagi savollarga javob berishimiz mumkin ekan. Ya'ni nima qildim? Bugun qaysi ishni yaxshi qildim? Yoki qanday to'siqqa bugun duch keldim? Yoki qanday o'zimni his qildim? Qanday bu to'siqqa men javob berdim? Va nima qilsam bu to'siqqa boshqacharoq javob berishim mumkin edi? Yoki qanday qilib qiyinchiliklarga javob berishda o'zimni yaxshiroq inson sifatida shakllantirishim mumkin. Meni ertaga bo'lgan niyatim qanday? Shu kabi savollarga javob berib, o'zimiz anglashga harakat qilishimiz mumkin ekan. Endi savol berdilar, kim xuddi shunga o'xshagan kundalikni tutib, o'zi bilan o'zi muloqot qilib, o'zini anglashga harakat qiladi. Bu yerda mana chatimizda javob berishyapti.
And we have a lot of chats coming in.
Sometimes when it gets stressing, Shahista writing, sometimes when it gets stressing, I like listening or relaxing meditation music. For me, it's sort of meditation. And yes, I used to have a journal. It really works to understand your feelings. So Shahista keeps journal.
That's nice. I think even Nadira, she also writes journals.
Yeah, Oisara, sometimes I'm writing on social platform. Oisara also writes posts on social media. Venera writes that
yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Karan.
Yeah.
Right. I'm happy that everyone's engaged in this.
Yeah.
Great.
Great.
So here's a quick, small exercise you can do. What you can do is you can ask other people how they perceive you in certain situations. Getting specific will help you to get more concrete feedback. So just get brave and ask them how they would like to see you behave. So pick out a scenario. For example, you went on a very important business meeting with your business partner. Now, maybe this is your high stake moment to deliver a pitch that would convince your investor to invest in your business, okay? Make two columns, column A and column B. In column A, write how I see myself. In column B, write how do others see me, the other person that you're speaking to, who you're going to get the feedback from. Now, list down the words that describe your attitude and behaviors at this time. The situation, for example, the situation that I gave you just now, the business meeting situation. And then ask your partner, what do they think? What words describe you in that position? So basically what's happening here is you're comparing what you think about yourself with what the other person sees you, right? So compare these two columns and you'll notice the differences. You may have some blind spots that need attending. So don't be disheartened. Maybe you gave it your best, maybe you were nervous, maybe the outcomes were positive or negative, no matter what it was. Don't take it too harsh on yourself. Just take it as a learning point, and maybe this will enable you to understand this will help you with your public self-awareness.
Endi sizlarga bir kichik mashqni beramiz, ya'ni o'zingizlarni anglashinglar uchun yana bitta bir mashg'ulot bo'ladi bu. Masalan, kichik bir ssenariyni oladigan bo'lsak, sizni investorlar oldingizda o'z loyihangizni taqdimot qilish jarayonangiz. Buning uchun biz biznes uchrashuvni yana ssenariysini ko'rib chiqamiz. A va B jadvallar klassida chizib turib, Ani tagiga biz yozamiz. Qanday qilib o'zimni qanday holatda ko'raman va siz o'zingizni qanday holatda ko'rishingiz, o'z-o'ziga ishongan yoki ravon so'zlovchi, o'z-o'zini fikrini to'liq bayon etuvchi sifatida o'zingizni hislotlaringizni yozib chiqasiz. Va ikkinchi B ustunga esa siz boshqalar sizni qanday ko'radi, shuni yozishingiz kerak. Buni boshqalardan, sizni tanigan insonlardan yoki hamkasblaringizdan so'rashingiz mumkin, iltimos qilishingiz mumkin va bular sizga sizni ta'riflashadi. Ikki xil ustunni olib turib, birlashtirgan holda ularni birlashtirishga harakat qiling. Bir xil so'zlarni chizib keling. Va qayerda bu yerda qora nuqtalar paydo bo'lyapti, ya'ni mos kelmayapti. Siz o'zingizga ishongan, ravon so'zlayotgan deb yozsangiz, u yerda sizni o'ziga ishonmagan yoki erkin so'zlay olmaydi deb kimdir baho beryapti. Bu narsani ko'rib chiqib, o'zingizga tashqaridan baho berib, xolisona bu yerdagi kamchiliklarni to'g'rilashga harakat qilinglar. Buni natijasi ijobiy ham bo'lishi mumkin, lekin salbiy bo'lishi ham mumkin. Lekin buni siz ko'nglingizga qattiq olmang. Bu albatta sizni faqat o'zingizni anglashga va bu yerdagi kamchiliklarni to'g'rilashga, ko'ra olishga yordam beradi.
So let's move to our next topic of today's workshop, which is self-confidence. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you read self-confidence? What is self-confidence in your head?
Endi o'z-o'ziga ishonch bo'limiga o'tamiz. Bu yerda sizlar o'z-o'ziga ishonch deganda nima keladi xayolingizga birinchi bo'lib?
Self-confidence is believing myself and being confident.
Great answer, Shoksana. Thank you so much.
Shoksana o'zimga bo'lgan ishonchni ko'raman deb aytdilar. Nima qilayotganimga?
Okay. So, as you can see, self-confidence is a feeling of trust in your abilities, qualities, and judgment. Research suggests that confidence is important to health and psychological well-being. Confidence, it's a general sense of belief and trust in your own ability to control your life or it might be more situation specific. For example, you might have high self-confidence in an area of expertise, but feel less confidence in other areas. Having a healthy level of self-confidence can help you become more successful in your personal and professional life. Confidence also plays an important role in motivating one to pursue their goals. Your level of confidence even affects how you present yourself to others.
O'z-o'ziga ishonchni gapiradigan bo'lsak, o'z-o'ziga ishonch biz o'zimizni qobiliyatlarimizga va fazilatlarimizga hukm chiqarishimiz ekan. Bu orqali biz o'zimizni tadqiqotlar shuni ko'rsatgan ekanki, o'z-o'ziga ishongan odamning psixologik holati ham yuqori bo'lar ekan. Bu ya'ni to'g'ridan-to'g'ri bizni psixologiyamizga ta'sir qilar ekan. Shuningdek, biz qaysidir sohada qobiliyatli bo'lishimiz mumkin va qandaydir bilimga ega bo'lish mumkin, boshqasida bilmasligimiz mumkin. Buni tushunishimiz kerak. Biz o'zimizga yarasha sohada bilimli ekanligimizga.
Now let's discuss how to be more confident. Fortunately, there are several things you can do or try to increase your self-confidence. Whether you lack confidence in one specific area or struggle to feel confident about anything, these confidence boosters can help you. Start off with this. Stop comparing yourself to others. Do you compare how you look to people you follow on Instagram? Or maybe you compare your salary to what your friend earns. See, now making comparisons is natural, but it doesn't really help boost your self-confidence. It may even have the opposite effect on you. So how do you build confidence when you notice that you are drawing comparisons? First, remind yourself that doing so isn't helpful. Everyone is running their own race and life isn't a competition. So if you're feeling envious of someone else's life, it's also helpful to remind yourself of your own strengths and success. Keep a gratitude journal to remember the areas in life where you are blessed. This can help you focus on your own life versus the life of others. So here's a question. I want you all to tell me, what are you grateful for today?
O'z-o'zimizga bo'lgan ishonchni oshirishda quyidagi ishlarni qilishimiz kerak ekan. Ya'ni boshqalar bilan o'zimizni solishtirishni to'xtatishimiz kerak ekan. U inson boshqa inson. Masalan, Instagramdagi kimnidir ga solishtirgan holda shunaqa bo'lishim kerak deb o'zingizga chegara qo'ya olmasligingiz kerak ekan. Yoki dugonangiz sizdan ko'proq maosh olib ishlasa, unga solishtirib o'zingizni kamsitilgan holda yoki pastroq his qilib o'zingizga bo'lgan ishonchni yo'qotishingiz noto'g'ri ekan. Doimo o'zingizga sizni kuchli tomonlaringiz va omadli jihatlaringizni eslatib turinglar. Bu narsa sizlarga bo'lgan o'zingizlarga bo'lgan ishonchni yana ham oshirishda yordam beradi. Shuningdek, o'zingizlarga minnatdorchilik bildiruvchi eslatmalarni yozib turinglar. Kim o'ziga shunaqa kundalik tutadi? Masalan, bugun sizlarga bugun o'zingizlarga qilgan ishlar bo'yicha qanday qilib minnatdorchilik bildirdinglar? Chatda javob beryaptilar. Shakista writes that we should praise ourselves even for little things. O'zimizni juda ham kichkina narsalarga ham quvontirishimiz kerak, o'zimizdan minnatdorchiligimizni bildirishimiz kerak.
Yes, that's correct. You know, sometimes we find ourselves at this point of life where you think that you're not doing anything in your life. You're opening your Instagram and you're seeing people getting a new job, buying a big fancy car, getting married, or buying a big house. And, maybe all you're doing that day is making yourself a cup of coffee, going to the gym, drinking water, preparing a healthy meal. And that is also doing something. It's not like you haven't done anything. You're taking care of yourself, and that's a very big thing to do.
And also, two participants share idea that self-confidence being through the expertise in some particular field, like Venera and Zulaikha Khan.
Yes, absolutely. So you've been spending some time in certain specific industry, for example, and you've grown in that role, and you've seen the industry change, the latest trends and everything. You become an industry expert, and that definitely helps you to be more confident. Yes, absolutely.
O'z-o'zimizga, ya'ni qandaydir sohada mutaxassis bo'lishimiz ham albatta bizni o'z-o'zimizga bo'lgan ishonchni orttirar ekan.
Shahista, do you have a comment?
Yes, I just want to add a comment. I think, like, again, Instagram, the social media is again like comparing yourself, your strengths and weaknesses with others, that others are doing beautiful, they're like successful. But again, we compare ourselves, and when you see the social media that they are posting that beautiful photos, and I don't know, in Miami Beach, I don't know where, whatever, this is distracting. We'll lose our way. So we should focus on ourselves. Again, self-awareness, like knowing your goal, your weaknesses, your strengths. When you know your weaknesses, you can work, and it's really good that you know that you are not that good at others. So stop comparing. It takes really hard work. You should learn how to do that. And
Right.
this, you mentioned, really good thing that we should keep diary, that we write little things that we did it every day, and what we didn't do or did wrong. So we can focus and change the next day.
Absolutely, Shakista. Thank you so much for explaining that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a very important point which Shakista mentioned. We should focus on our strengths. What are we grateful for? What are our blessings? We have family. We have a home to live under. We are paying our own bills, for example. We are educated. We have a job of our own, or we have a business of our own. You know, we have goals.
Yes,
Focus
and we
on
are
those
all
things.
unique.
Sorry?
And we are all unique.
Exactly. That's right. Thank you, Shakista.
Shohistaxon juda ham yaxshi fikrlarni bildirdilar. Ya'ni boshqalarga solishtirish orqali o'zimizni tushkunlikka tushmasligimiz kerak ekan, chunki hammamiz biz o'zgacha insonmiz va hech kimga o'xshamaymiz va o'zimizda bor narsalarni ko'ra bila olish bilan o'zimizning qobiliyatlarimizni yana ham rivojlantirib, yuqori natijalarga erishishimiz mumkin degan kabi fikrni, juda yaxshi fikrni bildirdilar va mavzuni isbot sifatida aytib o'tdilar.
Right. So the next thing is taking care of your body. It's hard to feel good about yourself if you're abusing your body. On the other hand, if you practice self-care, you know you're doing something positive for your mind, body, and spirit. And you'll naturally feel more confident as a result. So here are a few self-care practices linked to higher levels of self-confidence. First thing is diet. Healthy eating comes with many benefits. We all know that, including high levels of self-confidence and self-esteem. When you fuel your body with nutrients, nutrient-dense food, you feel healthier, stronger, and more energized, which can result in feeling better about yourself. Another thing, exercise. Studies consistently show that physical exercise boosts confidence. Regular physical activity helps improve your body image. You don't have to go on a complete crazy hike if you are not used to exercising. Maybe just start with something as simple as going for a walk, even 10 to 20 minutes of walk to begin with. It goes a long way, and when your body image improves, you feel more confident naturally. That's just a effect of exercising. Meditation, as we just covered before, more than just a relaxation practice, meditation can help boost self-confidence in several ways. For one, it helps you to recognize and accept yourself. Meditation also teaches you to stop negative self-talk and disconnect from unhelpful mental chatter interfering with your confidence. Sleeping. This is my favorite. Skimping on sleep can take a toll on your emotions. So you must get at least 7 to 8 hours of good quality sleep every night. Good quality sleep has been linked with positive personality traits, including optimism and self-esteem. It also helps your confidence and morale at the same time.
Yana o'z-o'zimizga bo'lgan ishonch tutuvchi vositalar sifatida quyidagilarni aytar ekanmiz. Ya'ni bular parhez, ya'ni to'g'ri ovqatlanish. Bizni tanamiz, biz nima yeyotgan bo'lsak, o'shanga qarab faoliyat olib boradi. ya'ni bizga yoqilg'i sifatida taomlar xizmat qiladi. Shuning uchun to'g'ri ovqatlanish orqasidan biz sog'lom bo'lamiz va sog'lom bo'lgandan keyin va kerakli energiya olganimizdan keyin to'g'ri faoliyat olib boramiz va bu bizni ishonchimizga ham juda ham yaxshi ta'sir qiladi. Shuningdek, kundalik mashg'ulotlar, ya'ni jismoniy mashg'ulotlar. Albatta siz birdaniga kuchli bir mashqlar bilan boshlashingiz mumkin emas, ya'ni toqqa sayohatga chiqish yoki qiyin musobaqalarda qatnashish, kichkina qadamlardan boshlang. Ya'ni aylanib, piyoda yurishdan boshlashingiz ham mumkin. Bu orqali biz sekin-sekin tanamizni jismoniy mashqlar bilan sog'lomligini yaxshilash orqali o'zimizga bo'lgan ishonchni orttirib boramiz. Bundan tashqari yana meditatsiya aytilib o'tilyapti. Meditatsiya ham bizni ruhiy holatimizga juda ham ijobiy ta'sir qilib, ishonchimizni orttiradi. Ya'ni o'zimizni qandayligimizcha shunday qabul qilishimizga, o'zimizni to'g'ri qabul qila olishimizga va salbiy fikrlarni to'xtatishimizga va ijobiy o'zimizni yondashuvga chorlashimizga olib keladi. Va o'zlariga eng yoqadigani, ko'pchilikka yoqsa kerak, bu uyqu, to'laqonli uyqu. Ya'ni 7 soatdan 8 soat, ya'ni minimum yo'q deganda shu muddatda to'g'ri yaxshi dam olib uxlash ham insonga ijobiy ta'sir qilar ekan. Uni o'zini his tuyg'usiga va o'zini ishonch bilan qabul qilishiga.
Thanks, Barno. Sorry, I was responding to one of the comments.
That's okay.
Right. So another thing which is very important is surrounding yourself with positive people. Take a moment and think about how your friends make you feel. Do they lift you up or do they bring you down? Are they constantly judging you or do they accept you for who you are? The people you spend time with can influence your thoughts and attitudes about yourself, perhaps more than you even realize. So pay attention to how others make you feel. If you feel bad about yourself after hanging out with a particular person, it may be time to say goodbye to that person. Instead, surround yourself with people who love you, want the best for you. Seek out others who are positive and can help you build your confidence. In fact, self-confidence and a positive attitude go hand in hand.
Endi yana bitta usullarimiz ham bu, o'zingizni ijobiy fikrlovchi insonlar bilan jamoasida bo'lishingiz ekan. Ya'ni atrofingizdagi odamlar sizni o'zingizni qanday qilib his qilishingizga ta'sir qilar ekan. E'tibor beringlar. Agar atrofingizdagi odamlar sizni o'zingiz haqingizda yomon fikrlashga yoki salbiy fikrlarga borishingizga olib kelayotgan bo'lsa yoki siz qandaydir u inson bilan muloqot qilgandan keyin siqilib qolayotgan bo'lsangiz, harakat qilinglar bu insondan uzoqroq yurishga va o'zingizni sizni tushunadigan, sizga yaxshi munosabatda bo'ladigan, sizni yaxshi ko'radigan insonlar bilan ko'proq muloqot qilishga harakat qilinglar. Bu insonlar bilan muloqot qilganda sizni kayfiyatingiz ko'tariladi, o'z-o'zingizga bo'lgan ishonchingiz ortadi va albatta hamma ishingizda muvaffaqiyatga erishasiz.
Right. Self-compassion. So be kind to yourself. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with kindness when you make a mistake, fail, or experience a setback. It also allows you to become more emotionally flexible and helps you better navigate challenging emotions, enhancing your connection to yourself and others. So next time something goes wrong, observe your thought process, how you're talking to yourself. Are you saying, oh my God, why did I even do this? You know, I'm so stupid. Don't ever say like that to yourself. Say, okay, I did a mistake. I recognize it. Next time I'll do better, you know. Do your best to navigate these experiences with compassion towards yourself.
Keyingi nimamiz, usulimiz bu, ya'ni o'zingizga bo'lgan munosabatni yaxshilashingiz. Ya'ni o'zingizga yumshoqroq bo'ling. Ya'ni xato qilishdan qo'rqmanglar, yiqilib tushsanglar, hayotda qoqilsanglar yoki sizni nimadandir to'xtatib turadigan biror narsaga duch kelsanglar, o'zingizga qattiq baho berib olmang. Bu narsa sizni to'xtatib qolish mumkin. Men nimaga bunchalik ahmoqman yoki nimaga bu xatoni qildim, bunaqa qilishim kerak emas edi deb qattiq baho bermanglar. To'g'ri, bu safar noto'g'ri qildim, lekin keyingi safar buni to'g'rilayman yoki bundanda yaxshiroq natijaga erishaman deb o'zingizga yumshoqroq bo'linglar. Bu o'zingizga yumshoqroq bo'lishingiz va har bir inson ham xato qilishini anglay olishingiz sizga bo'lgan ishonchni yana o'zingizga bo'lgan ishonchni yana ham orttiradi.
Practice positive self-talk. Negative self-talk can limit your abilities and lessen your confidence by convincing your subconscious that you can't handle something or that is too hard and you shouldn't even try. Self-talk that is optimistic can help foster self-compassion, overcome self-doubt, and take on new challenges. So next time, instead of telling yourself, I can't handle this or this is impossible, try reminding yourself that I can do this, or all I have to do is try, or instead of telling yourself, I can't do anything right when you make a mistake, remind yourself, I can do better next time, or at least I learned something new.
Keyingi usulimiz bu o'zimiz bilan o'zimiz ijobiy suhbatlashishimiz ekan. Ya'ni faqat o'zimizni salbiy tomondan baholayvermasdan ijobiy tomondan ko'rishga harakat qilishimiz kerak ekan va o'zimizga bo'lgan ishonchsizlikni yenga olishimiz kerak ekan. Shundan keyin biz keyingi to'siqlarga, ya'ni qandaydir qiyinchiliklarga bardosh bera olamiz ekan.
Also, don't forget to journal that, the lessons learned.
O'rganilgan hamma darslarni jurnalga, kundaligimizga yozib olishga harakat qilinglar.
Right. So, what are the benefits of self-confidence? Being confident in yourself just feels good, right? That being said, having self-confidence can also bring many additional benefits at home, at work, within your relationships. So let's look at a few positive effects of self-confidence. Better performance. Rather than wasting time and energy worrying that you aren't good enough, you can devote your energy to your efforts. Ultimately, you'll perform better when you are confident or when you feel confident. Also, healthier relationships. Having self-confidence not only impacts how you feel about yourself, but it also helps you better understand and love others. It also gives you the strength to walk away from a relationship if you're not getting what you want or deserve. Openness to try new things. When you believe in yourself, you're more willing to try new things. Whether you apply for a promotion or sign up for a cooking class, putting yourself out there is a lot easier when you have confidence in yourself and your abilities. Resilience. Believing in yourself can enhance your resilience or ability to bounce back from any challenge or adversities you face in life.
Keyingi bizni nimamiz o'zimizga bo'lgan ishonchni asosiy foydalari juda ko'p ekan. Bularni asosiylaridan to'xtatib o'tamiz. Ya'ni bizni ish joylarimizda, oilamizda va do'stlar davrasida o'zimizni yaxshiroq ko'rsata olamiz ekan va ijobiy natijalarga erishamiz ekan. Bundan tashqari turli xil munosabatlarni yaxshilanishiga olib kelar ekanmiz. Ya'ni biz o'zimizni nimani xohlashimizni bilamiz, nimani istayotganimizni va yo'limizda to'g'ri ketyapmiz. Bu narsa juda ham munosabatlarda ijobiy natija ko'rsatar ekan. Shuningdek, o'zimizga bo'lgan ishonch yangi narsalarni o'rganishga, yangi qadamlarga, ish sohasidami, shaxsiy hayotdami ko'rishga yordam berar ekan. Masalan, yangi ishga topshirib ko'rasizmi? Uni qo'rqmasdan topshirasiz. Yo'q, bunga mos emasman degan shubhalar sizda bo'lmaydi o'zingizga ishonganingizdan keyin yoki qandaydir pishiriq tugariga yozilasizmi? Bunda ham siz o'zingiz bo'lgan ishonchni oshirib, yanada yangi narsalarni harakat qilib, o'rganib, ijobiy natijalarga erishasiz. Shundan tashqari, o'zimizga bo'lgan ishonch qiyinchiliklarga nisbatan bizda chidamlilikni shakllantirar ekan. Va qanday bir to'siqqa duch kelmaylik, biz uni osonlikcha ishonch bilan yengib o'tar ekanmiz.
Right. So now let's move towards our last topic, which is body language. I'm sure we all know our body language is a form of non-verbal communication. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oxirgi mavzuyimiz bizni xatti-harakatlar tilida foydalanishimiz.
Okay. While the key to success in both personal and professional relationship lies in your ability to communicate well, it's not the words that you use, but your nonverbal cues or body language that speaks the loudest. Body language is the use of physical behavior, expressions, and mannerism to communicate non-verbally, often done instinctively rather than consciously.
Jismoniy harakatlar tili bu bizda turli xil qo'llarimizni tana a'zolarimizni qimillatish orqali yoki yuzimizdagi turli xil o'zgarishlar, ko'zimizni qimillatishimiz, turli xil ishoralar orqali biz o'zimizni munosabatimizni bildirishimiz ekan. Bunday xatti-harakatlik dan foydalanish orqali fikrlarimizni bildirishimiz ko'pincha bilmagan holda amalga oshirilar ekan. Biz uni atilab mo'ljallagan holda uni amalga oshirmaymiz.
So the power of body language, right? You see this picture, you're seeing 4 different kinds of people sitting in different posture or facial expressions, gestures. Who do you prefer amongst these 4? Let's say we are meant to go for an interview and we have these postures. Who do you think an interviewer, when they see you for the first time, who would they go for?
Ushbu rasmda masalan turli xil jismoniy harakatlar ko'rsatilyapti, ya'ni insonni o'tirgani. Bu inson suhbatga, ishga kelgan. Masalan, siz uni shu 4 xil holatdan qaysi birini tanlagan bo'lardingiz? Qaysi bir holatda o'tirgan inson sizlarga sizlarda ijobiy his-tuyg'ularni paydo qilyapti?
Yes, Nadira said the person who's smiling. That's correct. So as you notice, she looks confident. She looks approachable. Her posture, look at her posture. She's sitting straight. She looks like she knows what she's here for. She doesn't look like she's lost. She looks like she had proper sleep. She looks like she will be engaging to talk to, an interesting person. So a lot can, a body language can tell a lot about a person. From the smallest movement of your hands to the way you stand, body language is a very powerful form of nonverbal communication that most of us express and interpret without thinking twice. But understanding body language and learning how to better present yourself can improve your daily interactions. While body language covers a wide range of human expressions, the most crucial aspects are posture, which I just mentioned, eye contact, and personal space as well.
Albatta to'g'ri aytyapsizlar. Bu ushbu rasmda kulib turgan va o'zini to'g'ri o'tirgan qiz ijobiy nimani hosil qiladi, fikrlarni. Ya'ni bizni qanday o'tirishimiz, qo'llarimizni qanday tutishimiz, qanday holatda bo'lishimiz va yuzimizni qanday ifoda etishimiz. Albatta bularning hammasi bizga bo'lgan munosabatni, bizni qanday inson sifatida ko'rishlariga ta'sir qiladi va bu bizni o'zimizga qanchalik ishonamiz, shuni ham anglatadi. Masalan, birinchi, ikkinchi rasmlarda ko'rayotgan bo'lsanglar, bu yerda o'ziga bo'lgan ishonchsizlik ko'rinib turibdi. Bu non-verbal communication deb aytilyapti, ya'ni so'zsiz so'zlashuvni usullari ham juda ham kuchli ahamiyatga ega, o'zimizni bo'lgan ishonchni va kuchni ko'rsatishda. Masalan, bundan tashqari biz tovushimizni, atrofimizdagi territoriya, ya'ni masofani saqlashimiz va ko'zimizni qanday qilib ko'zga qarashimiz ham muhim ahamiyatga ega so'zsiz harakatni ishlatganda.
Your nonverbal communication cues are basically the way you listen, the way you look, move, and react. You can basically tell the person you're communicating with whether or not you care, or if you're being truthful, or how well you're listening, and so much more. When your nonverbal signals match up with the words you're saying, they increase trust, clarity, and rapport. When they don't, they can generate tension, mistrust, and confusion. So if you want to become a better communicator, it's important to become more sensitive, not only to the body language and nonverbal cues of others, but also of your own.
Endi so'zsiz muloqotlardagi muhim jihatlarga qaraydigan bo'lsak, bular juda ham muhim ekan, chunki ular sizni gapirayotgan gapingiz, bildirayotgan fikringiz bilan mos kelishi kerak ekan. Agar sizni qilayotgan xatti-harakatlaringiz yoki ko'zlaringizdagi ifoda gapirayotgan gapingiz bilan bir xil bo'lmasa, sizga bo'lgan ishonchni yo'qotishiga olib kelishi mumkin ekan. Ya'ni takrorlash, ya'ni mos kelmaslik, o'rnini haligi boslamaslik, qandaydir bir so'zga, bir jihatga urg'u berish, bular hammasi muhim jihatlari ekan, ya'ni so'zsiz muloqotni.
Yeah, so non-verbal communication can play 5 roles. Repetition, as you see. It repeats and often strengthens the message you're making verbally. So let's say To give you an example, someone lost their spouse. You go to them and you go like, I'm so sorry for your loss. Does this match or it contradicts?
Can you repeat the last word, please?
Right. So I was saying that when you're actually going and speaking to someone, maybe one of your colleagues or one of your friends, and your body language is basically not matching your words. It's contradicting. Your body language basically creates that trust, or the connectivity that you're trying to make at that point. It basically shows if you're being clear. It helps you build a rapport. It shows whether you're being genuine. So if you're going to a person and if your body language is not matching your words, it creates mistrust and confusion or tension, basically, in without an example.
Endi muhim jihatlari haqida gapiradigan bo'lsak, so'zlashuvni bu takrorlash haqida gapirib o'tyaptilar. Ya'ni va masalan sizni gapirish bilan sizni jismoniy xatti-harakatingizdagi mos kelmaslik kim bilan suhbatdoshingizda sizga bo'lgan munosabatni salbiy qilishi mumkin ekan.
Right. The other thing is contradiction. So I think from my previous explanation, you might have even got what contradiction means. If it doesn't match the words you're trying to say, it creates mistrust and it indicates to your listener that you may not be telling the truth. Then there's substitution. It can substitute for a verbal message. For example, your facial expressions often conveys a far more vivid message than words ever can. Next is complementing. So it may add to or complement your verbal message. As a boss, if you pat an employee on the back, in addition to giving praise, it can increase the impact of your message. And the last one is accenting. It may accent or underline a verbal message. For example, right now, if I'm doing this presentation and if I'm nervous and I'm pounding the table, for example, it gives an underlying message saying that I'm not confident or something is going on. So being aware of your body language, like maybe you're tipping your toes or your feet, tapping your feet on the floor while you're nervous. You need to be aware of that to be in control of the conversation you're having with people around you.
Endi keyingi ya'ni qarama-qarshilikka haqida gapiradigan bo'lsak, contradiction haqida bu ham birinchisi bilan bir xil, ya'ni o'xshab ketadi, ya'ni sizni gapirayotgan gaplaringiz bilan nimani mos kelmasligi, xatti-harakatlaringizni. Keyingisi esa o'rniga bu ham mos so'zlar bilan nimani mosligi va bir-birini to'ldira olishi. To'rtinchisi bu bir to'ldiruvchi bo'lishi, ya'ni gapirayotgan gaplaringiz va xatti-harakatlaringiz bir-birini to'ldirib, mazmunni to'laqonli qilib yetkazib berish kerak. Va oxirgisi bu qandaydir xatti-harakatlar bilan, jihatlar bilan biz o'zimizni hayajonlanayotganimizni ko'rsatib qo'yishimiz mumkin. Masalan, suhbatlashayotgan paytda oyog'imizni qimillatish orqali yo stolda taqillatish orqali biz o'zimizni qanchalik asabiyligimizni, o'zimizga bo'lgan ishonchni yo'qligini ko'rsatishimiz mumkin ekan. Shuning uchun bunday harakatlarga juda ham e'tiborli bo'lishimiz kerak.
Right. So there are different types of nonverbal communication. The first one we'll speak about is facial expressions. So the human face is extremely expressive. It's able to convey countless emotions without saying a word. The facial expressions for happiness, sadness, anger, surprise, fear, and disgust, they're all the same across different cultures. It's basically a global language, And the next one is eye contact. So the visual sense is dominant for most people. Hence, eye contact is very important type of nonverbal communication. The way you look at someone can communicate many things, including interest, affection, hostility, or attraction. Eye contact is also important in maintaining the flow of conversation and for gauging the other person's interest and response.
Endi xatti-harakatlar, so'zlarsiz suhbatlashishni turlari haqida gapiradigan bo'lsak, yuz ifodalari haqida va ko'z orqali suhbatlashish haqida gapirishimiz mumkin. Ya'ni yuz ifodalari bu xalqaro til desak ham bo'ladi. Bu narsani, ya'ni odamni yuzini kulib turibdimi, achchig'i chiqib turibdimi, yo qandaydir xayolga botganmi yoki nimadandir xavotirdami, bu narsani yuz orqali bemalol tushunib olishimiz mumkin, gapirmagan holda. Va albatta ko'zlar orqali juda ham ko'p ma'lumot olish mumkin. Ko'p eshitamiz buni, ya'ni ko'zi aytib turibdi bu narsani degan ibora ham bor o'zbeklarda. Bu ya'ni ko'z orqali o'zingizni ifoda qila olishingiz, qanchalik ishonchga loyiq, o'zingizga ishongan insonsiz, shuni bildira olishingiz ekan.
Right. The next thing is body movement and posture. You've seen the picture before. Posture is so important, and body movement is as well. Consider how your perceptions of people are affected by the way they sit, they walk, stand, or hold their head. The way you move and carry yourself communicates a wealth of information to the world. So this type of nonverbal communication includes your posture, bearing, stance, and the subtle movements you make.
Endi yana boshqa turi haqida gapiradigan bo'lsak, so'zsiz muloqotni bu tana harakatlarimiz va qanaqa pozalarda o'tirishimiz, turishimiz, shular haqida ekan. Ya'ni bu harakatlar bilan o'zimizni munosabatlarimizni bemalol bildirib qo'yishimiz mumkin ekan. Ya'ni o'zimizga ishongan insonmizmi yoki muloqotga biz tayyor emasmizmi? Masalan, ushbu rasmda ham ikki xil holat ifoda etilyapti.
The next thing is gestures. Gestures are woven into the fabric of our daily lives. You may wave, point, beacon, or use your hands when arguing or speaking animatedly, often expressing yourself with gestures without thinking. However, the meaning of some gestures can be very different across different cultures. While the OK sign made with the hand, for example, usually conveys a positive message in English-speaking countries. It's considered offensive in countries such as Germany, Russia, and Brazil. So it's important to be very careful how you use your gestures to avoid misinterpretations.
Imo ishoralar ya'ni qandaydir bir qo'l harakatlari orqali nimanidir bildirish. Bu harakatlardan biroz ehtiyot bo'lishimiz kerak ekan, chunki ba'zi millatlarda yaxshi ma'noni bildirgan xatti-harakat boshqa millatlarda haqorat sifatida ham qabul qilinishi kerak ekan. Shuning uchun ularni bilgan holda ishlatishimiz kerak ekan.
Right. The next is touch and personal space. We communicate a great deal through touch. Think about the very different messages are given by a weak handshake, a warm bear hug, a patronizing pat on the head, or a controlling grip on the arm, for example. And space. Have you ever felt uncomfortable during a conversation because the other person was standing too close and invading your space? Well, we all have a need for physical space, although that need differs depending on the culture, the situation, and the closeness of the relationship. You can use physical space to communicate many things, many different nonverbal messages, including signals of intimacy and affection and aggression or dominance.
Yana keyingi bu nimalarimiz turlari bu tegish yoki qo'l bilan so'rashish yoki qandaydir bir shaxsiy jismoniy masofani bo'lishi. Ya'ni biz so'rashganda qo'l bilan so'rashimiz mumkin. Bu narsaga ham e'tibor berishimiz kerak. Qanday qo'lni qisib so'rashamiz? Har bitta millatda bu narsa har xil. Buni ham e'tiborga olish kerak, inobatga olish kerak va o'zimizni suhbatdoshimiz bilan bo'lgan oralikdagi masofa. Harakat qilinglar, bu masofani o'ta har bitta inson o'zining masofasi bo'ladi. Bu masofadan, chegaradan o'tib ketmaslikka, bu masofani tushunish kerak, hamma bilish kerak. Shaxsiy masofa degan tushunchani.
Right. The next thing is voice. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. When you speak to other people, read your voice in addition to listening to your words. Things that pay attention to include your timing and pace, how loud you speak, your tone, and your inflection, and sounds that convey understanding such as or the filler words. Think about how your tone or of voice can indicate sarcasm, anger, affection, or confidence. This is very important, especially in the business environment.
Keyingi turlari haqida gapiradigan bo'lsak, bu ovoz ekan. Ya'ni ovozimiz baland bo'lishi mumkin yoki qandaydir bir boshqacharoq bo'lishi mumkin. Bunga ham alohida e'tibor beringlar, chunki ovozimiz orqali biz haligi qandaydir hurmatsizlik jihatida ham eshitilmasligi kerak. Biz yaxshi gapni aytgan bo'lishimiz mumkin, lekin ovozimizni, tovushimizni ohangiga qarab bo'lgan holda uni boshqacha ma'no chiqib qolishi mumkin. Shuning uchun shunga ham ovozimizni qanchalik eshitilishiga ham e'tibor berishimiz kerak.
I think Shakista has a question for us. What
Yes.
should be, and even Oisara Khan,
Yeah, Zulaikha says what to do if the greetings is different.
I'm not sure what that is.
When we talked about the touch in different cultures, for example,
Right.
shaking
Yeah.
hands, something like this. Touch is also something sensitive.
Right. So if you're okay with a handshake, just go ahead with the handshake. If you're not, maybe culturally it's not acceptable for you, maybe you can just wave. When you do things like this, it just immediately you're creating a boundary. You don't have to go and do things which you're not comfortable with, and people do understand that. If people don't get it, just speak it out. Tell them, sorry, I'm not comfortable with the touch. So this is my way of saying hello and goodbye. We should be observative and act accordingly. That's correct. Shakista, thank you so much.
Can I translate your question?
Yeah, sure.
Qo'l bilan so'rash haqida savol berdilar. Ya'ni bu bizga noqulay bo'lsa nima qilishimiz kerak? Uni aytishingiz mumkin bemalol dedi yoki qo'lingizni shunday qilib uzoqdan so'rashingiz ham mumkin. Buni ko'pchilik tushunadi. Agar tushunishmasa bemalol aytishingiz mumkin dedilar. I think it's after coronavirus, it's people will understand definitely.
Exactly. Sorry, COVID. No touch.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you read people's body language? From today onwards, let's try this. Start with paying attention to inconsistency. Non-verbal communication should reinforce what is being said. Is the person saying one thing, but their body language says something else? For example, if they're telling you yes while shaking their head no, pay attention to these kind of things. Small things like this. Look at non-verbal communication signals as a group. Don't read too much into a single gesture or non-verbal cue. Consider all of the non-verbal signals you are receiving, from eye contact to tone of voice and body language. Taken together, all their non-verbal cues, consistent or inconsistent with what their words are saying. Then other thing, which is very important, is trust your instincts. Don't dismiss your gut feeling. If you get the sense that someone is being honest or that something isn't adding up, you may be picking up on a mismatch between verbal and non-verbal cues. And also evaluate non-verbal signals such as eye contact, facial expressions, tone of voice, posture, gesture, touch, intensity, timing in place, and sounds.
Qanday qilib biz so'zsiz tilni ga qarab tushunib olishimiz mumkin ekan, qanday qilib uni o'qishimiz mumkin ekan. Albatta birinchi o'rinda mos kelmasliklarga e'tiboringizni qaratishingiz kerak ekan. Ya'ni bu harakatlar bilan gapirganda o'zini qanday tutyapti, qanday bu harakatlari mos kelyapti suhbatiga. Va keyingisi masalan bu harakatlarni yakka holda emas har birini, ya'ni guruh sifatida baholashingiz kerak ekan. Qo'l oyog'ini o'tirganda, harakat qilganda, gapirayotganda yuzidagi ifodalari, ko'z qarashlari hammasini birgalikda baholashingiz kerak ekan. Undan tashqari o'zingizni his-tuyg'ungizga, ichki tuyg'ungizga ham ishonishingiz kerak ekan. Ichki tuyg'ungiz ham sizga albatta uni to'g'ri baholashga, suhbatdoshingizni u haqida hukm chiqarishga yordam berar ekan. Undan tashqari yana boshqa belgilarga ham e'tibor beringlar. Ya'ni sizga qanday qarayapti, yuzini qanday ifoda qilyapti, ovozi qanday eshitilyapti, uni ovozini ohangi qanaqa va xatti-harakatlari, o'zini tutishi, ya'ni harakatidagi ketma-ketliklar, qanday vaqt ketyapti, joy, tovushlar hammasini birgalikda baholaylar.
Right. With this, we have come to the end of our workshop. To summarize, we have covered different topics today, such as self-awareness, self-confidence, and body language. So from today onwards, for self-awareness, try to get more in sync with yourself. Try and observe what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what are you doing, what do you want to do, what are you sensing. Question yourself what and why are you feeling these things? And also think of writing a journal.
Endi bugungi darsimizni oxiriga yaqinlashyapmiz va bugungi darsimizda sizlar bilan suhbatlashgan mavzularimiz, ya'ni o'z-o'zimizni anglash, buni ichida biz o'ylash haqida, his-tuyg'ular haqida, nima qilayotganimiz, nimani xohlashimiz, nimani sezishimiz haqida gaplashib o'tdik va albatta jurnal tutib, ushbu jurnalga bularni baholab boringlar.
Right. And for self-awareness, break the cycle, start paying attention to your diet, exercise, sleep, start developing new and healthy habits. Meditate and also practice yoga, practice mindfulness, surround yourself with people who inspire you, motivate you, and want the best for you. And lastly, body language. Start working on your body language. Practice in front of the mirror and see how you present yourself. Or if you're more of a private person and don't want to do it in front of other people, just use your phone's camera to record yourself while you're speaking and then watch. Observe your own facial expressions, hand gestures, postures, your tone of voice, and so on. Trust me, this is the best way to learn your own self, especially the body language.
Endi o'z-o'zimizga bo'lgan ishonch haqida gapirganimizda biz sizlar bilan parhez, mashg'ulotlar, to'g'ri uxlash, meditatsiya qilish va hushyorlik va ijobiy suhbatlar haqida gapirib o'tdik. Bularni albatta bajarib ko'ringlar va o'zinglarda sinab ko'ringlar. Keyin tana harakatlari, ya'ni xatti-harakatlar tili haqida ham gaplashdik. Bu bizni yuzimizni qanday ifoda qilishimiz, harakatlarimiz, qanday o'zimizni o'tirganda holatda, tikka turgandek holatdagi harakatlarimiz, ko'z orqali ifoda berishimiz va bizni shaxsiy masofamiz va ovozimizdagi nutqimizni qanday eshitilishlari haqida gaplashdik. Agar bularni mashq qilmoqchi bo'lsanglar, agar siz ko'pchilikni oldida qila olmasangiz bu narsani, oynaga qaragan holda uyda o'zingiz bilan o'zingiz gaplashib ko'ring. Bularni hammasini o'zingizda sinab ko'ring va rivojlantirishga harakat qiling.
Thank you, Barno. So yeah, that's all for today with me on this confidence building workshop today. I'd like to conclude by saying that there might be some days where you may not be 100%, but knowing little things like tips and tricks that we covered today that can help you build confidence during those days, and it can really help you at that point. Does anyone want to share any of their thoughts with me or tell me what was their main key takeaway from this workshop today?
Hammaga assalomu rahmat deymiz va bugungi darsimizda sizlar o'zingizlarga qanday keraklik, foydali uslublarni oldinglar va qanday qilib ishlatishinglar mumkin. Fikrlaringlarni iltimos baham ko'rsanglar biz bilan. Qaysi jihatlari sizga foydali bo'ldi ushbu darsimizni?
You can go off mute and just go ahead.
Mikrofonlar o'chirib, yoqib turib, bir bemalol fikringlarni almashishinglar mumkin. Bugungi darsimizdagi xulosalar, taassurotinglar.
Can I speak?
Albatta, gapirishingiz mumkin.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for very impressive, interesting presentation. It was really helpful to, to think about those things, to analyze ourselves, and there are very helpful tips that you gave today. I'm very grateful for that, and I don't want to point out, a specific one thing that was interesting. Because all of them, if you incorporate in yourself, they're all useful, and you can learn those things, and it can help you in all ways in life. But what was that interesting part? About confidence booster, like when you pay attention to how others make you feel, surrounding yourself with people who love you and want the best for you. That part was very impressive, interesting, that we should be observative, and also there's the other side when we how to say, can you hear me? Yeah, and yeah, when we all the time pay attention how others make us feel, and also we should sort things out, because for example, if I will be presenting my topic and someone will be judging, looking at me, I'll lose my confidence at that time. I will be thinking in my head maybe I'm talking like wrong things. Maybe I'm like out of the topic. So we should sort things out, and the control should be on like we should control our emotions, and we should not allow like others to control our feelings, our like emotions.
Right. Thank you so much, Shakista, for sharing your thoughts and for listening to me for over an hour now. I appreciate that you were paying attention throughout the workshop, and especially regarding the confidence booster, about surrounding yourself with people who inspire you, who make you feel positive, who make you feel better. That's very important, And the second thing, judging, people are going to keep judging you regardless of what you do, whether you're doing great, whether you're doing bad, they always have something to say. So you know what? You need to be aware of those things, and you need to know how to not think about those things. That is not your problem. You do you, what makes you happy, what you believe in, become an expert in doing so. Whatever you're doing in your life, whether it's in terms of, for example, if you're cooking, if you're painting, if you're starting up a business, do it and just focus on that. Focus on the good things in your life. Be grateful for all the blessings that you have. Count your blessings. Maintain a journal. Write it down. Acknowledge it. It's like an affirmation, and yeah, gratitude is the best way moving forward, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
There are also other answers in the chat. Oysara Khan says that her big takeaway is the journaling and sport. And Dilzoda Khan writes that she learned we should praise ourselves even for little things.
Exactly. Acknowledging little victories. I mean, that's very important. Sometimes it's very important to be telling yourself, right? Like, Zulaikha, today you did a great job. Shakista, today, well done. You went for that walk and you completed 10,000 steps. That's amazing. Or be it Elena, you prepared a very nice dish, borscht. That's an achievement. You've been eating from outside for the past 1 month. So today is today is the day you change. You make little changes, and it makes you feel better. It gives you the sense of accomplishment in a way.
har bitta qilgan ishimizni yaxshi baholash orqali albatta biz o'zimiz natijaga erishamiz. Masalan, 20 qadam piyoda yurding yoki bir oydan beri ko'chada ovqatlanayotganda endi bugun uyda ovqat tayyorlading, sen buni qila olding deb har bitta kichik qadam bilan o'zimiz tabriklashimiz kerak ekan. Qolganlar ham turli xil fikrlarni mana chatda yozishyapti, ulashishyapti fikrlarni.
Thank you so much for Zulaikha for the workshop. I'm so happy to see so many active and engaged participants, so many interesting discussions. Really, thank you for such insightful and practical tips that we can use like in our everyday life.
Thank you so much, Elena, for having me as well. Really appreciate. I really loved engaging with everyone. Would be happy to be in touch with everyone moving forward as well. Please feel free to drop me a message on LinkedIn now that you have my LinkedIn profile. Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure to be here and just talk about a few important things. We all know these things, but sometimes little reminders help us.
Albatta bu narsalarni biladiganga o'xshaymizki, ba'zilari bizga tanish, lekin buni qayta ko'rib chiqib o'zimizni shakllantirishimizga harakat qilsak, juda ham yaxshi natija olamiz. Bugun biz bilan bo'lganlarga hammaga tashakkurnoma bildirdilar. LinkedIn profillari bilan ulashdilar chatda va albatta ko'rib muloqotda bo'lishingiz mumkin o'sha LinkedIn orqali.
And if everybody's okay, we can make a group photo. If you can turn on your camera, пожалуйста, включите камеры. Если можете, мы сделаем финальное фото. Yeah, we understand that due to internet connections, not everybody can turn on the camera, but let's try with the people who can and everybody else. So I'm making a screenshot. Я делаю скриншот, спасибо. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much, Alina. Thank you so much, Barno.
Thank you.
It was really nice seeing you all today. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Thank
Thank you
you
very
for
much.
organizing.
Bye bye.
Everyone, bye bye.
Barno,
Bye,
Barno,
Shakista.
thank you.